Okay, no need to run. Amazing. Welcome to Youth Voice Panel 2025. Thank you all very much for being here. We're really proud for this new initiative that we're bringing in Greece for the first time in 2025, and for the opportunity that we have to connect a lot of our partners, both from the public relations and the business development aspect. And I believe that we will have some really interesting discussions today, also with our panelists and individually after in the networking space. I am Katerina. I am the head of business development for AIESEC in Greece for this year. I am responsible for all the corporate communications and the national sales for AIESEC in Greece.
My side as well. I want to say welcome to this event. It's the first time that we are organizing something like this, as Katerina mentioned, and we are more than happy to welcome all of you here in this amazing venue, to network with each other, to discuss about some important topics about Greece. I'm head of project and PR of AIESEC in Greece, and as you can maybe hear, I'm not from Greece, so I'm from Serbia. That is one fun fact about me. But I want to first explain the agenda of this opening. So first we will talk a bit about our organization, about AIESEC, what is actually what we are doing. Then we will pass through Youth Speak initiative and the whole initiative, what is included inside. Then we will call our amazing partners from UNICEF that actually run the whole Youth Speak survey, and I can freely say the whole Youth Speak initiative with us this year. And I'm so happy about this cooperation. So they will tell us more about specifically some insights from this survey about demographics, youth participation, sustainable development goals, and about career path of young people, and what actually they said about these topics. So first I want to actually introduce AIESEC globally, and this amazing organization that exists actually from 1948, and for so long years we have the same mission and the same goal, and that is actually that we want to develop leadership in people. And actually we are doing that through projects, through membership, but the most important through our international exchanges. And some numbers, more specifically, and something that we're really proud of, is that we have more than 40,000 members globally, that we actually exist in more than 100 countries. We have more than 5,000 partners that we cooperate with during the years. 30,000 exchanges every year we are organizing globally, and that we have more than 1 million of alumni members. But something that is more close to us is actually AIESEC in Greece. And we are really happy that every year we have more than 150 members that we are developing through this organization. And that we actually exist in 8 cities in Greece. And we have 9 entities, or more specifically local offices, smaller or bigger, that we cooperate with more than 11 universities in Greece. And also a really big number of alumni members that we have here, and some of them are here today, so I'm so happy because of that.
So I'm sure that a lot of you that are here today, you have some, you are familiar a bit about AIESEC, about our mission, and what we're doing. And as Mina also mentioned, we are a youth-run organization. We have members that run all of our operations, specifically from people 18 to 30 years old, and we're really proud because this is what we're aiming for. We're aiming to develop leadership in young people and to make our mission be heard even broader. And for that reason, as you know and as you experience maybe already, we have some really amazing partnerships in order to help us to achieve this mission and to reach to where we want, which is, of course, peace and fulfillment of humankind potential. As AIESEC was founded after the Second World War, because we saw that the world is in big need of a change, and of course, we believe that this change can be brought by young people, by young individuals that have all the energy, and we give them also all the skills and all the knowledge and all of the connections in order to actually achieve the change that we want to see in the world and our local communities. And we're really proud that we have all of our partners here, because most of the times we are talking with young people, with the youth. Of course, you're also young people here, don't get me wrong. But most of the people, we have students in our audience. So this opportunity in this panel is a great chance in order to also discuss from our side, from the corporate world, from the NGO world, from the student organization world, how we can achieve this mission, how can we make our voices and our actions be heard even broader. Because I believe and I know that if you're here today, then you want to contribute to youth, you want to contribute in an impactful change, and you want to see this be driven by your organization, by your community, and of course by young people. So we are really proud that AIESEC is also cooperating with the United Nations since 2015 in the Sustainable Development Goals. I believe that most of us here are familiar with these goals. And our aspiration is to enhance these goals and reach as close to them as possible through all of our initiatives and through all of our projects that we are running. And most specifically, of course, volunteering initiatives. So the Youth Speak Initiative, the Youth Voice Panel, and the Youth Speak Forum, the event that we're organizing in March, are contributing a lot to these sustainable goals. And you will also see through this panel the insights that we have taken from young people in Greece for these goals and for the current state in Greece right now. And more specifically, I told you that we have a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different projects that we are running with youth and with our partners. And some of these projects are the ones that you can see right now. So we're offering the opportunity to young people to participate in our global talent, global teacher, or global volunteer programs. And in each one of them, they have the opportunity to go to another country or to come from another country in Greece in order to have an internship for 2 months or 1 year, in order to have a teaching opportunity, or in order to go to a volunteering exchange and actually contribute directly to the Sustainable Development Goals. And we have, of course, also our membership program, in which, of course, all of the people that are or were part of AIESEC are participating in which we have the people that are actually running all the operations, all the processes, and all the projects in AIESEC in Greece and AIESEC globally. And these people, of course, are developing themselves, they're developing leadership skills, they're developing communities with other young people or with other partnerships that we have in order to actually achieve our mission and the change, as I told you, that we want to see. And of course, in all of these, we couldn't achieve them without you here, without our partnerships. And this is why our audience is not only the young people, our audience are also partners that share the same values with us, that want to see the change in the world, and that want to contribute to young people and believe in the skills and the opportunities that young people have. And we're cooperating either for exchanges or for workshops that our partners run to our membership or to external audience, or of course through the internships programs in which partners are welcoming people from abroad in Greece, in their organizations and in their companies.
And as Katarina mentioned about Youth Speak Initiative, small things about SDGs and how actually the Youth Speak has impact on this, I want to explain more about the whole initiative, because it's not only about Youth Speak Forum or Youth Voice Panel. This is actually a global initiative, and in general the point of it is to connect youth and to connect business and to actually have impact on the world through SDGs. So actually the first part of this Youth Speak initiative was a Youth Speak survey, and in Greece we ran it during November and December. And the Youth Speak survey actually had questions about career path, about social issues, and about education. And target was actually young people to give their opinion about these topics and actually to address them through the next steps. After that, we have Youth Voice Panel that we are here today. And Youth Voice Panel is actually a platform where we will present all results of this survey. And we actually had 700 answers on this survey that we are really proud of. And we want actually to hear our experts, decision makers, and people from companies and from organizations to see their point of view about these topics. And the next step is Youth Speak Forum that will take place 30th of March in Technopolis Gazi in Athens. And actually we will have delegates, participants will be youth, and we will have keynotes and workshops from partners that will actually inspire young people to take actions about these social issues that we discussed. But now I want to call one special partner for this day, and that is UNICEF. I mentioned before that we ran the Youth Speak survey with UNICEF this year, and that I'm really happy and proud of this cooperation because they helped us a lot that we, through your report platform, that is their platform, we ran this survey. And I want to call now Artemis from UNICEF to present this report more specifically.
Thank you very much for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Artemis Papakostouli, and I come from UNICEF, from the youth engagement section. I am responsible for the U-Report platform. This is a platform I will describe and tell you more about later, but in general is a platform that engages young people to polls, surveys, and any discussions that UNICEF want to raise around social issues, political issues, and the organization wants to engage young people to those discussions. We are really happy that we had the opportunity to join forces with AIESEC and design and deliver this specific survey, which was entitled, "What do young people think about education, career, and sustainable development goals?" This was the first time the organization, the UNICEF Greece country office, had the opportunity to partner with AIESEC. We're really proud of that, and we really hope that this is just the beginning. So the survey ran for a period of almost 2 months, 1st of November to 23rd of December. And just a few words about the methodology. AIESEC drafted the set of questions that we subsequently used and designed through the U-Report platform. The U-Report platform is a mobile technology tool that UNICEF uses to empower youth voices on the social and economic issues affecting their communities. The platform is a global one. It currently has around 36 billion young people participating around the world. It runs in 92 countries, and in Greece started only in 2022. And so far we have registered 5,500 new reporters. We have run around 20 polls. The platform is free, anonymous, and anyone can join through Viber, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp, as long as they type the word join. So the key word for this specific survey was AIESEC, and then the flow started and asked the users to reply to a series of questions. So for this survey, we have 700 people participated, and the focus was on 3 different areas: youth participation, sustainable development goals, and career. Just a few words about the users' demographics. The main gender, the main recipient, the main respondents came from 65% female, 33% male, and 2% that didn't actually state gender. And the average age was between 18 to 24. 84% users were at this age, and 25 to 30 was only the 16%. Just to mention that your report main focus is the age group between 14 and 24, but for this specific survey, we did exceed this age. The employment status, most of the users were studying and not working, 67% this was, followed by those that studying and working, those that have completed their studies and are employed, those that have completed their studies but are not employed are only few, 3%, not studying and working, and not studying and not working, 2% only. The main region the respondents came from were Attica, followed by Central Macedonia with 33%. 20% of our responses came from business and management study field, followed by humanities with 16%, IT 14%, health and medicine 13%, social sciences 10%, engineering, natural sciences, art with less percentages. Most of the responses were from first-year students, 39%, followed by second year, 18%, and third, the same again, 18%. The majority of the respondents came from 5 universities: National Kapodistrian University of Athens, Aristotle University of Thessaloniki, University of Piraeus, of Thessaly, and of Macedonia. And as you can see, 41% of the responses were from full-time jobs, were having full-time jobs. Coming up to the youth participation section, this is a very interesting finding regarding the personal development and what their perception was about what young people believe that extracurricular activities help them for their personal development. So 26% of them thought that learning foreign languages was the main extracurricular activity that would help them. 24% of those thought that they wouldn't like to be engaged with any extracurricular activity. And then conferences, seminars, webinar, or online courses followed with 14%, unless at the same level the volunteering option as well. So for those who responded that they didn't want to be engaged with any extracurricular activities, the main reason was that they didn't have any time. The lack of time was for the 44% of respondents the main reason, followed by the financial reason for 13%. 11% they think that they didn't want because they just were not interested, and 2% said that it was not significant. Regarding the learning and development resources, YouTube comes first in their preferences. Young people prefer YouTube, followed by podcasts and webinars with 22% and 11% accordingly. And they are willing to participate in a project on one-day basis for less than 4 hours. The majority said that, 54%. From 4 to 6 hours, 36%, and 9% more than 6 hours. Coming up to the SDG section, most of the users, 37%, said that they were informed about what SDGs are, followed by 33%, almost the same, we could say, that they didn't hear about the SDGs at all. and some that they did hear it, but they were not so familiar. They didn't have many information about the subject. 44 of them did indicate that they would like to influence and chase those problems, but they didn't know what the starting point for that is. So they were a bit lost. 28% said that they are already working on these problems, either through volunteering or through participating in NGOs. And 20% said that they're planning to impact the SDGs in the future. And only 6% said that they're not interested or influenced. They wouldn't like to influence at all the SDGs. The main 3 SDGs that young people would focus on are, first, the no poverty. This is the 39% of young people, followed by zero hunger for 14%, and almost at the same level, good health and well-being, 13%. The next slide is about what young people think about their country and their priority. What's the priority SDG goals that the society and the country puts in front? So the first is no poverty. It is the same as in the previous slide. But then we see that gender equality and decent work and economic growth follow, which seems that they do think that society and country work towards a different direction and setting different priorities. Next is the career section. And the internship part. So they would like to be interns in an organization, 58% for at least 6 months. 70% said that 12 months is the ideal time, followed by 16% for 3 months, 5% a different time, and 4% only for 1 month. The career that we like to build, the specific sector that they would like to build a career was human resources for 18%, followed by business administration, 12%, and IT, 11%, along the project management, the same percentage. And as you can see from the first from this first question, what the young people want to build their careers, they would like to be, most of them would say leaders. As you can see, the first is in a corporation, but as an executive, and then in a startup as a founder, followed by in a corporation again, but as an employee only. In an in a government organization, 10%, NGO, 9%, and at the very end, in a startup as an employee, 5%. So the 3 main types of organizations were as an executive, as a founder, as an employee. The factors that they would like to get a job in, the main factors that influence them, is the frequent college education. 70% of young people think that having a degree, having a university title is the most important thing, and to try to find a way to keep updating their diplomas or taking more courses is the main way to go forward. And then an internship with a local company will help them, but just 7% said though. Also the membership in an NGO at the same level, an internship with a foreign company, 6%. And as you can see, the family connections, informal education, political activism, and volunteering follow. In terms of what channels do young people mostly use to inform themselves about companies and future opportunities? Most of them, 90%, think that conferences, competitions in projects is the most useful choice, followed by internet and any announcements that the companies make in their channels. And recommendations from friends, 12%, with some social media channels followed, and career fairs, recommendations from professors or lecturers at university, and through student organizations. But in this kind of question, those TikTok, social media, Facebook come at the bottom. And the top organizations that young people would like to work are first, ActionAid. Second place was for Deloitte, and third place was for Coca-Cola. Other organizations also mentioned were Doctors Without Borders, Google, PwC, Pfizer, Apple, and WWF. So this was very briefly the main findings. I hope I will give some food for thought for the discussion that will follow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Artemis, for this amazing report. I think it was useful for all of you, and it was interesting, actually, to hear all of these things. I was really amazed about some answers, and some of them were weird for me, but yes. So now we would like to call our panelists on stage to actually discuss more about these results from their perspective and their side.
So together we have with us our panelists, first of all, Ion, which is a very proud alumni of AIESEC and is currently working in Dialectica. We have Angeliki from Endeavor, which is the Marketing and Communications Director. And we have also George, which is the brand manager in Carriera.gr right now.
Amazing. And then we have Lina from UNICEF, Υiannis from Innovation Hive, and Nikos from Uni Students.
So I believe that we can leave the rest for our panelists. I'm sure that they're going to have a really interesting discussion. So yes, enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Hello, first of all, my name is Ion. I will be the moderator for this panel. The key objective, so that we're all aligned about this topic, would be the most pressing issues that the young people face. This is the scope of the study that we would like to focus at. And as such, we have this wonderful panel here with us. Please give another warm round of applause. First of all, I would like, so that we're aligned regarding the expertise of the said panel, to share with you some information about our background, what's our scope of our particular roles in the organizations in which we're serving, and what is the expertise we can bring in this panel. I will start, first of all, I'm a former AIESEC member. I served in business development. Currently, I'm employed at Dialectica. My scope of my role is basically to map different markets and privately held companies, VC-backed and PE-backed in particular, and create profilings of their particular competencies. Apart from that, I am a huge techno fan. I have 4 names because my parents owed a lot of favors to lots of people. What I can bring to this panel, first of all, is experience in a Greek corporate, as well as experience in a Greek NGO for many years. And I will be giving the pass to Lina.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for this invitation. I'm really delighted to be in this panel. My name is Lina. I'm the Youth and Adolescent Development Officer at UNICEF Greece Country Office, which practically means that I'm in charge of the youth engagement portfolio, which includes youth participation and youth skills and employability. Fun fact about me, I used to be a professional rebetiko singer during my legal studies in Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. So if any of you was in Thessaloniki between 2006-2010, maybe you have heard me singing. And what I can bring into this panel, my personal experience as a brain drain generation that left Greece for 11 years and as a brain gain that came back recently. And of course, my experience as a staff member of the United Nations, bringing in the perspective with regards to the SDGs, but also to the comparative perspective and lessons learned from the United Nations.
No. Angeliki from Endeavour.
Hi there, I'm Angeliki Pittarokoili. I'm the head of marketing and communications at Endeavour. I unfortunately don't have this type of skill. I'm not singing, but I do really like to hike, and I do really enjoy connecting with nature. So what I can bring in this panel, well, even though I work on the marketing and communication side of things, I was a researcher for many years. So I think that this combination and my job at Endeavour gives me a really nice understanding of what the audience perspective is and what the real world sometimes is a little bit different, you know. So I think that's something we're going to explore together today.
We also have with us Yorgos from Karriera.
Hello, I am George. I am the brand manager of Karriera GR. I am actually been volunteering for like 8 years in the Erasmus Student Network, a youth organization here in Greece and also across Europe. So this was a great chance for me to come here and advocate more about youth employability. And actually, this is what I'm bringing here. And a fun fact is that I have traveled in 17 countries. And actually, after doing my army mandate, I did something like a bus/road trip to 6 countries in 10 days, and it was a really good experience. And also a part of my role in Karriera is about youth advocacy, so that's why I'm here. Thank you.
From Innovation Hive.
Hi. So, thank you guys for being here. Thanks to AIESEC for the amazing organization. So, it's the first time I'm participating in an AIESEC event. I don't know if the poster is good from Rebetico. I think you do have the right one. So, I'm Yiannis. I'm co-founder and networking manager of Innovation Hive. Innovation Hive is an organization dealing with EU funding, mostly focused on business and social innovation. We were established, first of all, we are located in Larissa, we're not in Athens. We were established back in 2020. Since then, we are involved in almost 120 EU-funded projects in several programs. Back then, we were 4 guys. Right now, we are a team of 24 people, all from different academic backgrounds. We have law, physics, mathematics, finances, etc. Me personally, I'm coming from the education sector. Most of my jobs positions were related to with education. However, I have also been involved, with kids education, adult education, etc. I'm also very active still on the creative and cultural sector. I'm a traditional dance tutor as well. And I'm also organizing a Pan-Hellenic folklore festival in Thassos, which has nothing to do with my business right now, but it's a part of my life and a hobby that I was happy to evolve and keep active. In Innovation Hive, what we do is that we are developing ideas based on the EU calls, based on the problems that we see in society, trying to support different target groups. Thank you.
Thank you. And lastly, Nikos, from Uni Students.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. Amazing organization and amazing event. So I'm Nikos from Uni Students. In the last 5 years, we're building a mobile app for students to manage their progress, academics, and everything related to their studies. I'm not sure I have any fun fact for myself. I like snowboard. I almost broke everything last year, but I keep doing it. So I'm leaving after the event for Parnassos. So I'm really, I don't know what to say. I really like it. So what can I bring to this panel? I was a student, like many of you here. I turned as employee in the field I liked, computer science. I worked as a software engineer for 1 year and a half, and then I quit everything. I started my own business. So student turned employee turned first-time founder. And the really exciting thing, I believe, about this panel is that we have worked for the last 1 year and a half with a lot of employers who want to find young individuals and work with them to tackle some big challenges. So we have learned some very useful insights about what employers are looking for the next generation, and yes, that I believe I can bring some insights.
Thank you, everyone. First of all, I'll be moving my chair because I want to have view of you guys. And secondly, so that we can give to everyone the flow of the panel which we'll be having. I will be directing questions either to all panelists or to specific panelists for specific areas that would like to focus on further discussion from the USPIC survey. We also have planned some buffer time for further questions from the audience. So in case you have a follow-up question, feel free to note it down. There is time for you. And I would like to start with the first question. We can start from right to left, so it's easier. In regards to the major issue that is affecting youth nationally, what intrigued me in comparison to past surveys run through AIESEC when identifying this type of issues or SDG-oriented problems is the rise of poverty as the key national problem. 39% of participants noted this down as the largest social problem currently in Greece. I would like to ask each of you, and here you can choose how to answer this question. How is your organization approaching and tackling this issue internally as a potential employer? Or how is it tackling it through the services and the products that it offers to the market?
Thank you. So this is more than just a stat. It's a little bit scary stat, let's say. Internally at Endeavor Greece, we do try to tackle this issue in various ways. First of all, we try to be fair, just to have very good salaries. That's the basis, right? But then also, we try to bring really, really good benefits to the people that we're working with. So really good insurance, health insurance, which was also one of the topics that were high in the agenda. And then we also have retirement programs. Apart from that, I think what's very important when it comes to poverty is to have the ability to have opportunities. So that's something we're really, really working with. So we give our members the ability to do different things, like to go to really impressive events, to travel. Our job helps a lot with that because we are located in 43 countries, of course. But we also do something that AIESEC does. So if you work at Endeavor for at least 1.5 years, you have the ability to go to pretty much any of the other 43 offices in the world for 2 months, paid. So you really have the ability to experience different cultures, different offices, your job from different perspectives. So I really like this approach. So externally, we basically support the most high-growth founders and companies to grow. So basically, we support companies to grow their staff. And what's very interesting, actually, is that startup and scale-up jobs are also high-value jobs. So people get paid really well, usually, and also they have amazing experience. Like, imagine building a company bottom-up along with a founder. This experience is really great. And it helps you understand, it helps you become a founder if you want to afterwards. And yeah, this way I think Endeavor really, in a really interesting approach, helps to tackle this issue.
Thank you. Yorgo?
So internally, I will not repeat the same things, but what I like is the remote working, because you have the flexibility to work from home, and this is cost saving. of course, it's cost saving. And the other part is like the support to new families, the new children, etc. And I will move on to the part of the external contribution. I think that poverty is correlated with unemployment. And here we are, actually. Karriera is a 360 HR planet, what we like to say. We are offering services from the job platform to career events, to insights for companies in order to tackle new talent, and also many initiatives that will be like HR generated. What we say to ourselves every day internally and also externally after the finishing of a project is like we try to change the lives of these people, and after every initiative we say, did we change the life of at least one person today? And this will be actually our success, and to give people happiness and what they think that they deserve in this job market, that it is so flexible, it's changing every day. And that's all from my side.
When I heard the question, I had so many thoughts. I will try to summarize everything, because poverty is such a multidimensional problem. It is closely linked to unemployment, and if I remember well from Artemis' presentation, unemployment was the second or the third issue that was identified as a high priority and a big challenge for young people. UNICEF is the United Nations Children's Fund, so we work for children and youth. And we have two main work streams that help address issues related to poverty. One of them is the social policy work stream. And in this regard, we provide technical support and system strengthening services to strengthen the system of governments and states, more specifically in Greece. As poverty is also, apart from unemployment, is also linked to social exclusion. It is linked to the social policy and welfare policy of the state and of individual companies as well. But it is also linked to data, right? Having the right data to be able to pinpoint the areas where poverty is mostly prevalent. In Greece, there was no such data about child poverty. We recently, a few months ago, in a collaboration with Elstat, with the Greek Statistical Service, we released a survey, research on child poverty by region, broken down by region, because that's another issue. I was recently researching about poverty and I couldn't find anything at the municipal level. And there was very little at the regional level. So one way that UNICEF is supporting governments, and more particularly the Greek state, is through research and data collection about child poverty. Then system strengthening about the establishment of social policy and welfare policies for vulnerable groups like Roma population, like families with children with disabilities, which are very highly affected by poverty rates. And when it comes to unemployment, my team, specifically the youth engagement team, we work as a liaison between the government, private companies, the private sector, and young people, bringing them together, having young people's voices heard, so that both the Ministry of Education and the policy makers to become aware of the gaps and the mismatches that exist between the formal education system and the skills needed by the companies, so that young people can easily access the labor market. I will not go into detail about our specific programs for skills building, but I will just wrap up by saying that we are working so that children and adolescents, they can gain the skills, not only the hard skills that they gain anyway by the formal education system, but the soft skills that are needed to access the labor market, like resilience, like green skills, 21st century skills, leadership skills. Those are skills that are taught from an early age, participation, communication. are taught by an early age, and we're working towards reform of curricula, incorporating these skills horizontally into the formal curricula, but also empowering young people so that they can access more opportunities and they can also get opportunities for social entrepreneurship. And I will stop here. There's a lot to say.
There is. I think Lina and of course the rest of the panelists have covered most of the key points. I will stay a little bit more on what Lina said, because those are the values and those are the goals and the mission also of us in an organizational level. Of course, what we follow is the EU agenda, and of course the social problems that are recognized, and the SDGs that are supposed to be our Bible, if I might say. So, personally, what I could say is that, and I can give an example. What we see is that by implementing these educational EU projects, we focus on upskilling, reskilling, or empowerment initiatives, but mostly we're trying to bridge gaps. I can give an example that made me really happy, and it was, let's say, a proud moment for our team while implementing a project that was related with soft skills for young adults that are in the autism spectrum. Over there, we also had a deliverable. We tried to do matchmaking with businesses, and the result was that we had a contract, and you cannot imagine the satisfaction, the happiness. I'm sure that everybody working on field and being on social, on the social field, whenever we experience this is the biggest satisfaction. So internally, what we do is trying to focus more on this. This is actually our job. We're trying to tackle social challenges, and this is what, at the end of the day, makes us proud as well.
So, yeah, pretty much everyone said like very amazing points. What we do in uni students, you know, as a startup, you cannot offer amazing salaries, so that's not what we thrive for right now, but we want to get there sometime. Everyone has equity, so every new employee that's coming in, they do own a part of the company, so that's what we are believing, that, you know, you can thrive in a new like startup and build something amazing for many young people around the world, and you get the reward. So that's the one thing that we do internally. Apart from that, for our users, of course, we have the opportunities. So we tried a lot to make a platform where 200,000 active students and uni students can find personalized opportunities based on their academic background, interests, strengths, weaknesses, because we know a lot of, you know, we have the data about that, so we try to do something like that. And our latest feature, which rewards students whenever they complete academic challenges, somehow, you know, with the deals and everything, maybe contributes to that, to that part. I don't know if it's 10 euro of a brand save you some money, but, you know, the small things adds up.
Thank you all. I think some really interesting points have been shared here. There are many ways to contribute to resolving poverty, or at least trying to tackle it, either through being a great employer, through sharing employee share option plans, also good, from leveraging the fact that many organizations are global and giving mobility, either knowledge and transfer mobility or physical relocation opportunities, as well as connection between public, private, and youth networks. I would like to focus here a bit more on Yorgo's expertise and his organization's expertise. Yorgo, I have a question prepared for you about 70% of respondents believe actually, that the single most important factor to getting a job would be someone's academic education. What would be your view on this, based on the surveys and research that your company runs on the job market and on talent acquisition, recruitment, selection processes?
Okay, I will separate actually my answer in two parts. The one about the university degree and the other one about the challenges and the perception that a university degree is everything here. So the first part, we have some data that shows that 6% of people having a degree, and 80% out of them have a full-time job or a part-time job, or they are working as a freelancer. So we see that half of people in our surveys that having a degree are working actually. So this is a nice start to share, but on the other hand, we can imagine that there are some professions like medicine, law, engineering, that you will need this because you need to have all the practical knowledge, all the theoretical knowledge in order to be a doctor. On the other part of the education, actually, yes, a university can give you a really strong background, both practical and theoretical, in order to make your next step and enter the job market. But here we have the question. I am 18 years old. I'm finishing Panhellenic exams, and I think now, as an adult, fresh adult actually, that, for example, I don't know, a law school is for me, and this is my dream job, okay? And in the second year of my studies, I realized that this is not for me. What happened? And this is the end of my life and my career. The answer here is no, because we have the challenge and the taboo in younger audiences that think that the life ends when you finish university, and what you study is something that is bound to your next choices. This is not here, because when I was 18, I didn't enter the university that I wanted. I studied marketing at Pandit University, and I didn't know that I even like this school. And then I met an NGO, the Erasmus Student Network, and I had the safe environment to experiment myself and see what I like in marketing, what I like in events, what I like in HR, and realized that George is better in marketing than law. So this is my way. Actually, in our team in marketing, we have a person that she's studying biotechnology, and she has all the practical knowledge, all the experience from volunteering, attending courses, or searching about trends. And to sum up my answer, I think that, okay, if you're a doctor, you need a degree, but if you are going to enter a job that needs experience and hands-on things and projects, you should chase this change and do things that will give you the happiness to continue. And at the end of the day, if you're passionate about it, you will find your way. You will set the targets and chase these targets. And so I think that, okay, in some professions, this is a limit, but this is not the rule. Thank you.
So we have a follow-up question. Which would you as far as your experience comes, what have you seen being the most effective ways of a student who may not have a strong academic background to boost himself or herself as an applicant? Would it be volunteering, freelancing?
Nice. I think that volunteering is the top one, because you are working in a safe environment where you can do things without somebody judge you. So you can shift from roles to roles and see what fits to you, and then decide. Also, I think that, okay, we have an open source way of information right now, so you can find online a lot of things. and train yourself if you want, but the hands-on experience to live an event like this, like you're an organizing committee in AIESEC, you're a volunteer, so you can see hands-on an event, how it's going to build up. This is the top one for me, and also you gain a lot of soft skills that university will not give to you. For example, you're going to Erasmus. The top skill that you will gain is adaptability. A new house, a new me, new studies, new friends, new people around me, and you should adapt in a new situation. So I think that exchange programs and an NGO contribution will be a perfect fit for a candidate that want to explore new things.
Angeliki, you're next. First of all, I would like if you could help me here explain the research that the study that your organization ran, the unicorn founder pathways, so that the audience can gain a brief view of the study.
Yeah. So I really like this research. It's a global research. It was made in Greece. But the point is that because Endeavor works with basically high-impact entrepreneurs, we also work with unicorn founders. So we went and talked to 200 most successful founders. So they reached 1 billion valuation. This is super rare. They're like the founders of the founders, the top of the top. So we went and we basically mapped their whole life from the minute they were born until they founded their $1 billion company. So that's it, basically. That's what we did in this research. Very interesting research.
Fast and effective. A follow-up question on this, now that the audience has gained a small view. What would be the insights that, or suggestions based on the study that you would share to either university students or young people who are interested in either joining a corporate career path or starting their own venture?
Okay, so this company is a myth buster, basically. So the findings are totally different from what we were expecting. It's really a better research for someone who wants to be a founder, exactly because we focused on founder paths. But if you want to be a founder, here are like my favorite 3 facts that are also very aligned with the research that Artemis showed us before. So I saw in the research that around 50% of the candidates, they wanted to work for a big corporate company. And this is an amazing path for executives, I think. But when it comes to founders, we found out that those top founders actually 50% of them worked in a startup or a scale-up before they founded their company. And actually the elite corporate part was only 20%. It's a very, very small percentage. So for me, that's a very interesting, like, what type of experience a founder should have. The second thing that I really enjoyed, and actually it's really relevant to where we are right now because there's so many global organizations working with other global organizations, and people here from AIESEC are from around the world. So they're global citizens. Founders, the best of the best, they're global citizens. They're either 60% migrants or first or second generation, or 50% of them, they have worked and studied abroad. So basically what you mentioned about adaptability and being able to navigate change, I think it's a skill that really, really matters, especially when it comes to founders. And the third point, which now I forget. Oh, the third point. So you mentioned, I saw this amazing graph of what people think they should study or like what they're thinking they could study. So if you want to be a founder, would you study business? Doesn't it make sense? But then 60% of the founders come from engineering and from science, actually. So for me, that's something really interesting in how you start with something and you end up doing something quite different. So only 20% of the people who become really cool founders were business graduates. So yeah, that's what my main points of the research. But check it out because I do think it's really interesting in helping you navigate your path and really changing the perspective of what we think it's important and what actually sometimes is in your path.
That's great. I have another follow-up question. Regarding incubators, and basically the platforms that people who want to create a new startup or a different type of venture can leverage on. Do you have any insights you could share with us about the Greek incubator ecosystem? What platforms can you leverage to enhance, to make life easier for a founder?
Okay. So I have to say, early stage is not my expertise because we mostly work with after seed, Series A founders. So my expertise lies more in that direction. But I'll tell you what I think about a student who wants to become a founder. So in that case, I would suggest definitely going abroad. There are amazing universities in countries that are actually affordable, or they have amazing grants that you can leverage to go abroad and see how they do incubation abroad. Now there are, of course, some choices here, but like what I would love to see more, I think you should try student grants and the ability to create your own company through different
Options.
not so much funding, basically like contests, student contests. So for me, that's the best approach, because something that I've seen through like founders we've met is that they found their co-founders sometimes that way. And they're able to build ventures that way. So I would say go to contests, go to put yourself out there, go to hackathons. I think those stuff are a very good first base to start.
Thank you so much. I would actually like to bring Nikos to the discussion about this. I think he can share more about that, either contests or how is the early stage part of such a venture.
It's really hard. That's the first thing. The second thing, it's very fulfilling if it's something that you really want to do for the rest of not your life, I mean some years. What really helped me is, of course, there are amazing founders that ahead of you and want to help you. If you reach out to LinkedIn, hey, I'm building this stuff and I want to get some insights, get some feedback or whatever. Everyone is so open. Like imagine the biggest founders you know in Greece and have amazing companies. They will talk to you and give you feedback. That's amazing. You do have some incubators that are doing very good job. I've tried one and it's really helped me. And there are also some accelerators from some early stage venture capital firms that will guide you at the first steps of your founder life and help you understand if the VC path is something that is something for you, for your company, and get your expectations right, if I can say that. But at the end of the day, it's a completely different path, especially in that when you're so young and you don't have a full picture of what options do you have. You may go and I will build this kind of stuff. It's very nice, it's very rewarding, even if it's not, it won't become anything or any company, or if it closes after some months. Like, it's very rewarding. You learn so much, because when I had my job, I was 9 to 5 doing something very, very specifically. It's not bad, we need that, and for some people it's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but the founder path is like, you own everything. You can understand everything from business to product to marketing to communication, to how the world works, essentially. So, yeah.
Great. I think it makes sense. That's such a huge learning opportunity. And here I would like to bring forward the results of the survey. What would be your opinion on the fact that survey respondents listed YouTube and podcasts as their go-to platforms for personal learning?
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. YouTube is amazing.
And I would also like your own experience. You're also using them.
I mostly use YouTube and podcasts. Like, those two sources are my main source of learning new stuff about business, products, startups, and everything. And it's free, it's on demand. There are amazing creators all over the world, so there are no barriers inside my country, so I can hear a podcast from founder of Snapchat and understand how he make everything and how he build, how he thinks. So I really get why YouTube is the first one, and podcast also. Amazing podcast in every platform. Like when I'm driving, it's a wasted time, you know, like in the traffic and everything. Or when I'm washing the dishes, like it's a nice few minutes of your day to learn something new. So I really can understand the trend. And it's really interesting for me to see how the higher educations will evolve with so many students actually getting all the information from those platforms. So that will be very interesting to see.
Given that your organization is also basically a youth platform, how have you identified and tried to incorporate these type of trends into your offering to the market?
We're not really helping educating people. We are making their journey more exciting and playful. So we are not yet offering, you know, ways to help you understand your subjects, your fields, prepare you for exams. It's not what we are doing right now, but there are amazing ventures and startups and products right now, especially with the rising of LLMs and AI in general, that really scaled the whole process of getting the information, understand it better, and memorize it. So education become so trend right now. I don't know if you can see, like in the last couple of months, so many startups raising huge amounts of money to help people learn better. So also very exciting to see.
I would like to speak about AI, but I'm trying to keep this off the scope. Everyone's discussing about AI. Yanni, I have a question for you. I will look at my notes because this is a big one.
Yeah, I'm the lucky one.
You're the lucky one. Okay. So this question is direct to you due to your organization's role and experience in policy implementation, evaluation, and social innovation development. 44% of respondents voiced that they would like to influence in addressing Greece's major social problems. Once again, I'm highlighting here the top three: poverty, unemployment, and poor health. But feel unsure how, 44%. If you could give a suggestion to these people based on how they would be most efficiently allocated to the economy or to different sectors, what would it be? Okay. I'm keeping the scope pretty broad.
Yeah. I'm gonna break it down. I mean, okay, the first issue question is be an AIESEC member, you know, get informed, start volunteering. From what we see, I think the first thing that you should do is to be informed and have all the information, be aware of the policies. I mean, in the survey before, we saw that I think almost 40%, I'm not sure, were not aware of the SDGs. So this is the first part, getting the information. The second part would be to get the information, but also to have the part of the active citizenship. And over there, it's very, very, very important because every policy is mostly linked to the governance. If we see that we do have this absence, this huge absence of participation in the political scheme and on the voting level, and we are not active on voting on local level, regional level, national level, and of course in EU level, it makes sense that we are not aware and we cannot make an impact on the policies, and that's the big thing. Now, personally, I could say that if you really feel like you want to be part of this systemic change, then you should align your career. And you should be the person that you can say, I had a conversation before. And what I heard was, this is what I like to do. I want to deal with the children. I want to be on the field. So if you want to be on the field, you should align your career with this. However, we do have to pay the bills. So I do get that that doesn't always happen. We will not all have the opportunity to work on public or relevant institutions or social enterprises, to be part of this change, to be part of the field. However, I don't say that if you work for Coca-Cola or Deloitte, you can be absent from the society. However, if you do have this need to satisfy yourself by being on the field, you have to switch. Of course, there are things you can do, and from me, to affect the policies, apart from being aware, you need to have this daily action motivation on your mind, because it's a bottom-up procedure and you need to start affecting your community on behavioral level first. So this is what we're advising, this is what we're trying also to do in organizational level through our project. I think this is the direction. Start from the small things on the daily life and be aware of what you are doing so you can influence and affect the others. So I think this is my approach on this. And follow-up.
Follow-up question, yes. I've trained you now. What would be some types of social enterprises that you believe that are very effective in addressing some of these issues?
Okay. I'm a little bit more sensitive, that's why I gave the example also before about the disabilities and about the green economy. Those are the most two my favorite sectors. I'm also dealing with the EU funding more on these. So I can give an example of a social enterprise that I have met in Norway, in Oslo. The name is Spir Oslo. So what they are doing is that they are offering training, job shadowing, and hands-on experience to people with disabilities. The disabilities, there is a variety over there. So 80% of the staff are employees that have any kind of disability. There is 20% of the staff that is monitoring them, guiding them through the procedure. And it's the first time I have been in a place that is so well structured. I mean, okay, it's not so fancy like here, but it was a big place with different sections, and you could see people with disabilities working as car engineers. They had printing services and packaging services. They were creating their own clothes, and they were helping the society not only integrate the people with disabilities, but also they were selling back their products to the society in a very effective way. And another very, very nice example that as Innovation Hive we are also trying to promote right now in Larissa. Maybe you're aware of an organization here in Greece. They are called In Common. They are based in Athens, but also in Thessaloniki, where they are trying to use the coffee beans, what remains from the coffee, and turn it into biofuel or as a biofertile. And they have done an exceptional work trying to raise awareness. This is currently what we're also trying to bring in Larissa, because we're the city of coffee. So we somehow want to get involved. Right now we're talking with the municipality so as to set up, let's say, a sustainable business plan for this. And luckily we do have the support from the local authorities so far. But yeah, I do really like this kind of businesses that are giving back to the society. And, I really feel satisfied and proud when it comes to this. And this is my message also, that if you want to be part of this change and you want to face these problems in society, you should focus on a job that at the end of the day makes you feel proud about.
Thank you. Don't close your mic. I have one more question. So that we can have a practical output, at least in our view and standpoint. In regards to the example in Norway, why did the system work over there, and why possibly it wouldn't work over here?
Okay, that's the part that we see. Okay, this is my personal complaint, because we're working on an EU level, and we're having meetings with other EU partners and organizations. We're talking about things that are standard for other countries because of their economic conditions, their financial level, their literacy, on all these policies we're talking about. But here in Greece, things are not the same. I can easily give the example of Industry 4.0 and 5.0. We're talking about Industry 5.0 right now in the blueprints or in the policy and the EU agenda, but if you talk about the ethics in technology, but you are coming back here in Greece and people are not still aware and they haven't still absorbed the technology needed. I'm not trying to trigger you to talk about AI yet, but I'm sure you'll have the chance. So the same applies when we are talking about projects related with social entrepreneurship, mostly because there is not this supporting framework and the framework and structure here in Greece. The project back then in Norway that I was really triggered and I tried to make more and more questions was that, okay guys, how are you funded? Probably you are EU funded. Probably you are related with EU funds, and that's how you get to start your operation. I was very surprised when they told me that the project we were implementing was the second or the third one that they are being involved. So I was like, okay, where the revenue comes from. But it's the government that is giving them the full support when it comes to social enterprises. The government in Norway is giving them, okay, no taxation. You can have an abandoned building. You can take advantage of other local funds from the municipalities. And this is how they start, and this is how they can, of course, cover their first running costs and their salaries. And I also think that they are successful because at the end of the day, their products were consumed by smaller or bigger enterprises just because they wanted to support their cause. So it's a matter of culture as well, being aware of what a social enterprise is and be also, let's say, willing to pay a little bit more just because you want to support the cause. So I believe it's cultural and institutional.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lina, I have a question for you. As UNICEF and AIESEC were co-responsibles for running this survey, which have been your own personal key takeaways? And second part of the question is, if this survey runs next year, what are the topics that you believe should be added?
All right, so my key takeaways, you have covered already some of them, so I will try to approach them from a different perspective or to complement what has already been said. I think it is very worrying, and we should all try to think and consider what would be the next steps. I think it's very worrying that 70% of respondents believe that the key to accessing employment is through formal education and by having a degree, and only 3% believe in volunteerism, and 7% on internships and practical experience. I think this is very much revealing of the culture of our country, and it indicates that we really need to do some serious social and behavioral change work in changing attitudes and perceptions about accessing the job market, but also about active citizenship and about civic engagement. So volunteerism, you have already, Yorgo, I think you already talked about it quite a lot, and internships, you, Angeliki, as well. I think most of young people, but also most of parents, because everything starts from the family and from a very earlier age, don't realize the value of gaining hands-on experience, the value of doing something else beyond the formal education and beyond the school, the value of soft skills, or 21st century skills, as we call them. This is something also, and goes into the institutional part as well, right? This is something also that institutional stakeholders don't necessarily realize or start only realizing just recently. So yeah, for me, this is one of the key findings that we should pay attention to. And what was the second question, Iona? The next year, what we should do. Okay, well, first of all, let me say that it's been really a pleasure, and it's been very, very refreshing and productive to work with AIESEC on the co-development of this survey. It was the first time that we worked with such a large youth-led organization, and we would definitely love to continue our collaboration. Taking the survey results of this year and looking into practical steps on what we can do and how we can help to address some of these issues. Of course, they cannot be addressed in 1 year, but we can at least start discussing and putting on the table of institutional stakeholders all the issues that came up from the survey. So this is one point. So for next year, we would definitely love to do the survey again and co-design the survey again with AIESEC on the issues that should be on the survey. I'm afraid that I shouldn't be the one responding this question, but it should be young people themselves and the target audience at the end of the day. Okay, I'm young as well, but not that young, So one of our key values in UNICEF, and I think also in AIESEC, is that there should be no decision about young people without young people. And this is why we have recently established our Child and Youth Advisory Board. We have 2 of our members here with us today. And UNICEF really upholds one of the key values of the UN Child Rights Convention, which is Article 12 on the right of children to participate in decisions affecting their lives. So we always try to consult with, or even co-design our programs and our initiatives with the target audience and with the people who are ultimately affected by them, but also throughout the way on the implementation and monitoring stage to have young people involved directly. So to make it short, the response to your question would be, I wouldn't be the one deciding what issues should be on the next year's survey. We should bring the question back to all of you and to the AIESEC members, but also to the non-members, and try to engage people who haven't been engaged as respondents this time to figure out what are the issues they are that are seeing as challenges and what are the issues that are affecting their lives mostly. Of course, keeping the poverty, unemployment, and health as 3 key issues, but maybe also considering other problematics, other considerations that haven't come up from the survey. So yes, how to do that? One way would be through another survey. Another way would be through a combination of focus group discussions in different parts of the country, where UNICEF and AIESEC can work together to bring to the table young people from different geographical areas, from different disciplines, maybe also not necessarily university students, so we can have perspectives of people who are not in university but are doing something else. And last point would be, but again, that's a suggestion from our side, would be also to involve people who are younger than 18, because they will be the future students, they will be the future adults, they will be the future, and they are already, and they will be the future active citizens. So they should also be involved in all these consultations and discussions.
Thank you. As a past member of AIESEC in Greece, I would like to say that I'm extremely jealous and extremely proud that AIESEC managed to partner with you. I have something that, through my experience in volunteering and through having regular discussions in this landscape, has been a key issue, at least in the last years, and I would like your viewpoint here. Is the worsening economic situation in Greece making volunteering less accessible? Because I believe this would be a great thing to tackle as AIESEC in USPEC Forum.
Very interesting point, and it's also something that we. I don't think it was one of the survey results, but I can think of many reasons why someone wouldn't want to volunteer: lack of time, but also lack of financial rewards through volunteering. And the same goes with the internships, because internships are usually unpaid, so money needs to come to the table, right? We need to pay the bills at the end of the day, as Giannis said. What do we do? And how can organizations and companies tackle this issue? One response would be to provide stipends, so it wouldn't be a full salary, but it would be some stipend so that volunteers and interns can have some income to pay for day-to-day, even for the commuting, day-to-day expenses. This is what UNICEF is one of the UN agencies that actually we give a stipend to our interns. We give a stipend to UN volunteers. It is not a full salary, but it is still something that can help and can give an incentive so that volunteers can continue being engaged and they can be more encouraged to join. So yeah, this is what I would suggest.
We will be proceeding with a question to all panelists. Respondents ranked HR, General Business Administration, IT, and Project Management as their preferred roles for building a career. And results were quite varied here in this area. So I would like your personal picks and suggestions for the most promising sectors or areas of sectoral expertise, let's say, in an organization, for Gen Z, 13 to 28 years old, and for Generation Alpha, 0 to 13.
Can I start? The sector that you really love and really like. I mean, do you guys agree, you have to do what you really like to not only be good at it, but enjoy the process and everything. That was the first thing as a student, I really wanted to achieve in my life, because I was thinking, wow, after uni, we have to work essentially all of our life, for many years, and do day-to-day, have a job. So we have to really like it if we want to have a great life. So yeah, I mean, every sector is doing well right now. I mean, some jobs we will see less jobs in some sectors, but we will see more jobs in some other sectors. But in general, we've seen throughout the years, some jobs, they're not entirely fading away, just changing in a way that we as people do the actual work. So yeah, do not get afraid. Do what you love. That's the message.
In your current setting, if you could have magically 2 people be allocated to your team, what would you like for these people to do?
I'm a true believer that you can learn everything, but I cannot change what drives you and what gets you in the morning to work with me. So you can learn pretty much everything. I didn't know how to code. I didn't know how to close deals or fundraising or anything, or manage a team. I was the opposite. I couldn't work with anyone. I couldn't talk with you. I couldn't talk in public. You can learn everything. What takes you there is what really drives you. And if you do have the drive, and I see you're a driven guy that wants to do things in his life, I will work with you.
Great, thank you.
If you know some coding, that's good.
Yanni?
Yeah. Okay. So Nikos was the lucky one, and I really like the story because he knew what he loved to do and he started working on it. Now, if you are not as lucky as Nikos is, I think that you should try to follow, of course, the trends. It's obvious that for Gen Z, the tech-driven jobs are, of course, popular right now. And apart from popular, you have an amazing negotiation power right now in your sector. And I do have this as a personal experience. I'm sure that whenever you are negotiating as a coder or generally in IT, you can be as flexible as you want. You can negotiate for better money. So obviously we see these tech-oriented jobs being popular, data science for sure, and I'm talking about Gen Z and software development. But of course, I believe that even in a world that is AI-powered, we do need the soft skills that were aforementioned. I mean, no matter what, maybe you have automized so many procedures, but you do need leadership skills, emotional intelligence. You do need to get adapted. I believe that Gen Z has this characteristic, and we are working mostly. Our team is mostly from this generation, so I can see that they are adapting very fast. When it comes to Gen Alpha, Gen A, the next one, I think I wouldn't dare to think or forecast what is going to happen. I mean, the pace is so rapid, the technological one, that it's changing that maybe some jobs that we are currently imagining might be completely reshaped. But I'm going to top, apart from the digital literacy and the soft skills, I think that the next big thing that Gen A might have will be ethics and sustainability. So it goes along with the Industry 5.0 that I have mentioned before. I think that the ethics and the sustainability part will be the values that are going to give the direction to the future jobs of Gen A.
Lina?
Picking up from where Giannis left again. Definitely for both Gen Z and Gen A, definitely the fast pace of the digital solutions and AI and technology is something that is and will be driving the career choices. Apart from that, what we see a lot nowadays are jobs that were not really considered jobs until now, like influencer, YouTuber, TikToker, which at the end of the day is also a job. And now governments are starting to talk about a taxation for influencers. So it means that they are starting to consider it as a job. So yeah, we see also a lot of young people thinking that and dreaming about becoming influencers and thinking that this job doesn't require formal education. Maybe it doesn't, but it requires the skills, the soft skills, but also technical skills on how to do it, right? It's not it may look simple and easy, but it's not an easy job. So yeah, I would say that one relatively new sector is the sector that has to do with social media and with influencing and jobs through social media. And apart from that, the green jobs. Recent surveys that we did through YouReport and the consultations with adolescents and young people show that these two generations, Gen A and Z, are more than our generation concerned about the global warming, climate change, the climate crisis, because they are mostly affected by it, and they are living very rapid changes in their environment. So yes, the jobs related to how to address the impact of climate change, how to adapt and mitigate the risks of the climate crisis. I think this would be also the jobs of the future. And then, of course, there is a lot more sectors and jobs that we may not even be aware of, because things are moving at such a rapid speed that from one year to another, the whole landscape changes. And AI is something that is really changing everything. So yeah, AI and new jobs that would be done through the digital world is something that Gen A will definitely have to face.
Thank you. I would also like to hear to highlight influencers. I wasn't expecting this one. And then I was trying to run it through my own brain. Is this true? Is this true? Is it still a developing market? And I believe it would be in the scope of content creators for niche markets. I believe possibly everyone here has a channel that they're following, either for cooking or for business or for music. And it links up to what we said before and discussed about YouTube or podcasts being a main learning platform. Yorgo?
And also it's a nice way, if you're a founder, to promote your business. So if we can combine. I saw the results, and I saw that 3% wants to join marketing. And the controversy here is like when we do the career days, 30% are like looking for careers in marketing. So yes, as a Gen Zer, I think that right now AI automation is something that is on the rise. Also cybersecurity. I think that if you're working in a company right now, you will see all the ISO things that we have the last year. Also ESG, climate consulting, and we are reaching 2030 and the sustainable goals by United Nations. So I think that we'll do the focus the last 5 years and then renew the agenda. And the last part about Gen A, I think that maybe space tech, because we are doing discoveries, etc., and also the ethical part of AI, because we do not have policies about how we can use AI to prevent crimes, maybe that we can do, and also the climate engineering, because this generation will take a worse situation. So we need to see in actions how we are going to make the things better.
Very solid suggestions. Angeliki?
So I'm not in any of those generations, so I will assume. Basically, like obviously for Gen Z, anything that has to do with tech is a good choice, is considered a good choice. But what my thoughts on that is that if someone really wants to grow into a tech job, they need to be kind of a generalist at the same time. So I do think that generalists will be really good hires in the next years. This means that beyond having an expertise, it's important to understand basically the whole business. You have to be able to understand different functions of marketing, by the way. Like, it's a great example because there's so many different functions in marketing. It's not one thing. So you need to have an overview in order to be able to grow into your role and go into an executive position or into a founder's position. So I would focus a little bit more on that. And then Gen A. Okay, so again, I'll go to the soft skills part of the things, because to the hard skills, really, nobody knows, I think. So to the soft skills part of things, I think that they're growing up right now. So they grow up with a huge, like an attention span that it's so slim, and with everyone really, really they have an iPhone in their hand all the time. So everyone wants their attention so bad. So I think in a world that it's so busy and so full of messages, the ability to silence that, disconnect, and be able to turn attention to themselves and understand what they want, what they believe, like have critical thinking, those type of skills are the ones that are going to help them grow.
You give me space for thought. My approach would be, at least for Generation Z, would be project managers. Mostly the reasons would be that you can work in a lot of different type of products, in a lot of different type of environments, either in a fully predictive construction project or in an agile software development project. So there are many opportunities to work. Also, the growing concern for freelancing, digital nomads, these are jobs that sometimes can be done through remote work, as well as the scope that I think we're changing with due to the digital landscape, that we're focusing more on deliverables and project work rather than fully committed full-time employment. Again, linked to the digital nomads. However, during my studies for project management, because I'm also studying for it, there is a terminology called T-shaped generalists. T-shaped generalists are team members who can do a wide array of tasks, but they have one specific niche expertise in one domain area. So I think these guys, at least for our generation, are going to be useful in every team you put them on. And then my prediction, it's a prediction for Generation Alpha, would be artisans, highly experienced manual labor workers. I can justify this, but I think you can understand why. Everything will be a template, everything will be made with specifications, so if you want to customize something, you possibly will have to pay for it. Guys, now we're moving to the space for the Q&A. Would anyone have a question that they would like to ask either a specific panelist or the panel in general? Goes once, goes twice, goes thrice. Okay, then I think we're good to go. Just some closing remarks. We would like to capitalize on these inputs, and thank you to the panel for this discussion. I personally really enjoyed all your inputs. The team will be using this discussion for creating the USpeak forums. I think we addressed some really interesting topics that I would advise you, Katerina, to pay some extra attention to. We invite you also to network after this space with either panelists or stakeholders in this space. And lastly, to all participating organizations, these results are publicly available. They collected a very valuable sample of answers from a specific target audience. So we invite you to the opportunity to know your audience and capitalize on this survey. Thank you all.
Thank you very much to all our panelists. I believe that Υiannis captured really good also the next steps, and I want to highlight that Mina's and my vision for this event was to actually see how we can capitalize the voice of youth and connect it to our mission as AIESEC, but also our stakeholders' mission, because if we're only collecting results and we're not talking for them and we're not acting for them, then we're never going to see change. So this is why we wanted to invite you all here, our peer partners, our corporate partners, new people that are interested in youth and are interested to act upon these results and these concerns in order to actually have an impact together to the future generation, to this generation, and of course, to ourselves and like our organization, our companies. So I can say that AIESEC's answer to all of this, of course, as Ioannis said, is the Youth Speak Forum, one very, let's say, soon action that we're going to have, besides, of course, of all the opportunities that we offer to our stakeholders through our exchanges and through our project. And it's going to be the next step of the whole Youth Speak initiative in order to finalize the findings from Youth Speak survey, the discussions we had here, and that we're also going to have afterwards, of course, in the networking space with all of you, and bring them to the table and present them to up to 300 young people through workshops, through keynotes, through interactions with peer partners, with corporate partners, with AIESECers from all around Greece, in order to actually see how young people and the corporate environment and organization can have an impact to the Sustainable Development Goals and to the future careers and opportunities for youth. Because at the end of the day, we're young people, we're in AIESEC, we are taking action, and I'm sure that in every organization or company you are part of, young people are also the key, and we strongly believe that. So I hope that I will see you all there. I already know that some of the people here are already going to participate and going to deliver some really interesting workshops and keynotes. And it's going to be a great opportunity to come also as delegates and as partners also to support us. So I really advise you to approach me, approach Mina, approach any AIESECer, go to our pages, see what Youth Speak Forum is about, and take action through this. And of course, as Ioannis told you, you can see the results of the survey in the badges, but if you're interested on more raw data from these results, also approach me in order to see how your company, your organization can actually capitalize these data and these beliefs from young people.
Nice. Okay. And now we want to say one more time, thank you for our panelists that take their time, not only today, but for the days before, and they put a lot of effort to be here today and to share some insights with us. So we want to give them some certificates. So we'll call one per one, and we want to take a photo with you as a panelist as thanks for this event. So first, as I mentioned before, that UNICEF is our partner through the whole Youth Speak initiative, and we tackle this a lot. I want to say special thanks for this partnership, and I would like to call all of you maybe to take a photo, or however you want. Maybe we can take photo also later with certificate. Come. Okay, then Nikos from Uni Students.
I hope you hear me. This is also a new partnership, but we're really, really happy that we're here in this amazing space, and we will have an even bigger opportunity to capitalize on it in the networking right now. We really want to thank you all for coming here, the people in the panel, and all of you participating. And I believe that one question we should ask ourselves, discuss in the networking space, and answer also in the Youth Speak Forum is what we can do about it individually, through our organizations and through our companies, and most importantly, together, in order to actually have an impact on all of these issues affecting youth. So thank you very much.
I want to say thank you from my side as well. I'm so happy that this event came through, because we imagined this in June, actually, last year, me and Katarina. And I'm so happy that today I can see all of this coming through, and that I see all of you here. And I hope that you enjoyed and you took some useful insights. So now we are calling all of you on networking. We will have some food, some wine, drinks. So I really want to talk with all of you. So I want also for you to network with each other. Thank you one more time for this. And a small announcement that maybe some people that are our content creator for Youth Speak Forum in general maybe will approach you to record some few questions. So they will ask you about these insights, about events. So if you can record for us, we will use for our campaign. And thank you so much.